Hi, this is Todd Henry. And everyone is talking about content marketing, but no one really talks a lot about where all the content comes from. And while it's true that in an effective content marketing program, you should be producing a good portion of the content on your own. After all, this is you telling your story. So a significant chunk should come from you, but throughout the years, I've developed a process that helps people with content marketing. And there are really only three main moving parts. A feed reader, in this example it's Feedly, a sharing tool called Buffer, and a WordPress enabled website. These other tools, Friends Plus Me and Rebel Mouse, are really passive. They're automation and collecting tools. So the only three that you need to know how to use are the feed reader, the automator, and the blog. This starts with a process in my workflow of contemplating your brand and your branding strategy, who you are. If you're the answer, what are the questions that people would ask to find you? And then you go about building a team, if you will, of sites, searches, sources, and someday maybe information that will feed your feed reader. And from there, when you've determined what it is that you're about and you've loaded up your feed reader, both of the tools that I'm going to show you today use keyboard shortcuts. They both pretty much use the same keyboard shortcuts, namely J and K to move through articles. So when I want to, for example, find content about content marketing, I can search for this in the upper right hand corner, and Feedly will show me topics. So if I go to content marketing, it will show me the best tools or sites that it has already found. And all I need to do is simply click on the plus, select the category to which I want it to go, and then click add. So I can continually be on the lookout for good content that I want to come to me every day. Okay? And once I've done that, then what I can do is go to my Home tab and use the keyboard shortcuts to navigate through this content. Now, with every article that I see, I'm asking myself, or I can do three things. I'm asking myself two questions. Is this good enough to share? And is it good enough to post to my blog? So I have three options. I can go through articles and I can say, I can just look at these for interest. But if I don't like it, then I can go on to the next one. So, for example, this, I'm going to press V for view, and it takes me to the original article. Now, I don't necessarily want to write a blog post about this, so I'm going to use a tool called Buffer. And I right-click, and I say, buffer this image. And what Buffer will do will pop will be to pop up a dialog box and I'm going to share that to my business live stream. And I'm going to add this to the buffer queue. And what that means is this article is going to sit. Here's buffer over here. Here's my business queue. Here's the article that I just shared. And that won't be shared in social media until 10 o'clock. There's another article before it. My articles are set to go off every 2 hours so that there's a steady trickle throughout the day. Now, a tool like Feedly can be so helpful, and one of the reasons why I need Buffer is because Feedly helps me find so much great information that I really need to parse this out. Otherwise, people will know when I'm reading my news because they'll see 20 things from me all at once. So Buffer helps me kind of spread things out and create a queue that is going to be played out over time. So this looks kind of interesting. Marketo has an infographic about going mobile, which is a hot topic right now. And for infographics, of course, I'm going to use Pinterest. And what I can do here is right-click and pin this right from the browser. And I want to put that on my infographics board. And then boom, it's gone. Now, one of the habits that I want to get into, I've already showed you Buffer, so I'm going to close this window. Every open window, every open tab in Chrome, which I do think is the best browser for this, does take up extra memory. So you want to make sure that you clean up after yourself. In my workflow, I share interesting content first to my Google Plus page, and then I comment on it with my profile in Google Plus. And there's a reason for that I've gone into before, but basically what I find is that is the optimum workflow. It's a workflow that's intended to get the maximum amount of search engine optimization benefit. So again, I'm going to share this to my business queue, and this article won't appear in my Google Plus page until 1 o'clock this afternoon. And I'm going to clean up by closing this window and continue on with my J space. Okay? Oh, let me go back here. This is an article that I'll want to read later. Okay. Sorry about that. So, and I'm probably not even going to edit that out. So I'm going to buffer this image, and it's going to grab the title and the link back to, or for my Google Plus page. And sometimes I'm, do a little bit of text editing. Now, I said, you can share to social media or to a blog. This is one of the nice things about using Feedly. is that I can also share directly to a WordPress blog from here, and it could be a self-hosted blog, or it could be a WordPress.com blog. In any case, why would I want to choose to blog something instead of just sending it to social media? Well, I think the time that you want to actually curate content and put it into your blog is when you can really weigh in on something. When what it is that you're seeing gives you an opportunity to go off on kind of a rant about your perspective on something. And that's called curation. And you can incorporate other people's quotes as long as they're attributed. So looking back at this image, we put into Feedly the site searches, sources, and someday maybe information. As we go through Feedly, we're deciding option 1 is just to continue to go on to the next article. Option 2 is to share it to my Facebook page in Buffer. And option 3 is to share it to WordPress. Now, by the way, WordPress also goes to Buffer and gets shared to the Google Plus page. And Friends Plus Me takes the content and sends it to Facebook and to Twitter as well. But Friends Plus Me concentrates on growing your Google Plus audience, which is the most important audience for people who are looking to get found. And then, by the way, this cute little thing here, Rebel Mouse, is a really interesting tool that will allow you to create kind of a news magazine on your page. And I'll show you how I use that. If I go to my Business Rebel Mouse page, this is actively collecting all of the content that I share through my business live stream. And it's mostly from Twitter, because everything that I share, whether it's on my blog or in Google Plus, ultimately ends up in Twitter. So it gives you a very nice little page, and for some people this could be a good starting website. But the thing that I like about it most is that while this is happening in the background, and as you see, what I can do is go in here and I can pick up to 25 different content sources. And it can be Twitter, it can be Pinterest, it can be whatever. But this site is put together completely automatically in the background. And this is a tool that I've used with dozens of customers over the years. And it's one of the best and most reliable tools that I have. So right now, I have this set up primarily to gather my Twitter content. And so the whole page, the whole Rebel Mouse page, is being built from that. Now here on my website, I use it like this. Under my resources, I have what I call a magazine. And Rebel Mouse allows me to drop the Rebel Mouse page right into my website so that everything that I share online ends up here as a resource to the people that I work with. And the interesting thing about this too is because it's embedded, there's no penalty at all from Google for having too many links on your website. So this is just kind of a quick overview of my workflow and what it is that I do. And always I'm asking myself the question, is this as simple as it can be? And I think if you're just focusing on using 3 different tools, Facebook, Buffer, and WordPress, in this way, that this is about as easy of a thought leadership workflow as I've ever seen anywhere. And if you find something that's easier, please tell me so that I can use it myself. Thanks much. I appreciate your time and your attention.